All right, for the next quick table calculation, let me change it to the previous format that we used in the previous video. That is, we are keeping month over here, right? And right, we are keeping month over here, and I think, yeah, it's better to drag it down. Perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect. Now, let me take a simple screenshot of this, and all right, let me take a screenshot like this and put it over here so that we can compare the original values. Right, here it is. Now, so this is January. This is basically year-wise and month-wise sales. So this is giving me January for 2011, 12, 13, and 14. So table across is going to do the analysis for all the Januaries. And table down is going to do the analysis for the entire year. Right? Please understand this. Table across is going to do the analysis for all the Januaries. What is happening in Januaries, right? Across all the 4 years. Whereas table down is going to do the analysis for that particular single year across months. What is happening in that particular year? This is going to be interesting, right? So I'll just minimize this. Right. So now if I go to quick table calculation over here, and I think there is already a running total going on. And what I'll do is if I just go for clear the calculation looks something like this. Fair enough. Right. And if I just go to quick table calculation, go to difference. Now this time it's going to take the difference. And how is it taking the difference? Again, let me see the original data. The original data seems to be something like this. And we can see this difference 687 seems to be the difference between this 30,022 and 14,335. You know what? Before we move on to this, I think most of the quantities are in 1,000. So just for the sake of, bringing some, easy level calculations over here or bringing some simplicity, I'll just format this table. I'll just do one simple formatting. I'll just go to the format, select the fields, and I think I'm going to select the difference over here. And what I want in this is I'm going to select this particular number. I'm going to go for numbers custom. In numbers custom, I'll say that display the unit in thousands. That way, what happens is I only see the difference over here in 1,000 because the values are also in thousands. All right. So that way, it becomes slightly easy for me to, look at the numbers and take the differences quickly as well. We can still actually customize it by saying that don't give me 2 decimal places over here. Just give me, in fact, no decimal places. But no decimal place would actually create a bit of ruckus because in that case, it takes all the values less than 0.5 as 0, right? So it depends upon you. Let me keep it to 1 decimal place over here so that we can at least have some numbers to analyze. Now, the fun starts from here. Now we can see that okay, in the screenshot, it might still be 30, but we can see this 30K minus 14K will be around 16K, which is 15.7K is the difference over here, right? 45K minus 30K would be perhaps 15K is different, 15.7K difference over here. So I just realized that January jumped the same amount in 2012 as it did in 2013. Interesting, might be useful, right? And the highest jump came in 2014 when it jumped from perhaps, something like 49. I'm so sorry. I think I've just taken the screenshot of the cumulative data over here. Let me put up the screenshot of the original data. Just right here it is. Okay, continuing our discussion, I think we were talking about the differences, right? So I'll just apply the differences again. And now using this difference, I can see that the difference is right now of this difference 15.7 is nothing but Jan 2012 minus Jan 2011. And obviously there is nothing to display in 11 because there is no 2010 involved over here. So it's been kept as null. And we can also observe over here that the difference is from left to right, or right minus left, and so on like this. Nevertheless, the difference is in the across fashion right now. Okay, it's moving from left to right. So we can see the difference is 15.7. This helps to understand the growth. We can see 15.7, and a mere 3.4K. That is, the jump has not been very high in 2014 as compared to 2013. What January did in 2012 and 13, it was not able to repeat in 2014 is something that I can infer. If you look at the Feb month over here, in Feb month, we can see, okay, these are the differences now. We can easily understand that we're looking at the differences from left to right over here, right? I can just minimize this screenshot now and get back to the originality of the data, which is something like this. Now, minus 6.3K means there's a decrease, and then 31.K increase, then there's a decrease. So Feb has been inconsistent when it comes to sales. Can we say this? Feb has been inconsistent. The increase or the difference in it at times the sales go up as compared to the previous year, and at times the sales comes down as compared to the previous year, and this has happened in a regular fashion now. There's a decrease, there's an increase, and there's a decrease, and the increase and decrease, all of them are very huge over here. Minus 6.3K and covering that and then taking an increase of 31.K is something substantial. So Feb is a month I probably will raise some eyebrows over here. Probably March is along the same lines over here. That's 20.8K increment, then sudden decrement. Then next year it was a marginal increment. So March is probably going down. The sales in March is probably going down and a bit stagnating over here. I was not able to see a 20.8 kind of performance in the next 2 months. Now, if you look at April over here, April says, okay, in 2012, from 2011, April increased by 8.9K, then decreased by mere 0.1K, which is around a quantity of or sales of 100, which is ignorable. Then it increased by 18.1. We can say a bit of consistency is being shown in April. And I think May, again, is inconsistent, increase, and there's decrease. Now June, increase, big increase in fact, and there's a decrease. July, well, increase, lesser increase, and then decrease. Then something like this, right? So we can see that almost all the months, very interestingly, leaving November, 2.5K increment, 22.K increment, and then 14.1 increment. At least it is giving me substantial increment and stable increments year on year. December, again, increase followed by decrease followed by increase. Month wise, I'm not able to see any kind of seasonality over here, because at times it has decreased in the same year, the same month, or at times it has increased, right? I'm not able to see any sales over here. So I might probably will have to dig deep into the data to understand it further. However, November, good news is nothing but a consistent data. This is what inference can, these are the kind of inferences I can draw over here. Now, if I click on this and if I click on compute using, it is table down. It's going to go for table down. Table down, that is not the difference is below minus up. So below minus up, this one minus up, and so on like this. So 7.3K, if I look at the original data again, is nothing but the difference between 21.6 minus 14.3. That is the difference in Feb. This Feb is how much increment Feb has taken over January in the same year in 2011, right? So in 2011, there was an increment in Feb, decrement in March, increment in April, increment in May, increment in June. There's a big decrement in July. Then there is an increment, big decrement, increment. Perhaps I'm able to understand the entire year over here. I can see that, okay, there are a few months in which the sales are supposed to dip, and they are supposed to dip very sharply over here for July. Now, at least I can see in this particular way, if I look at the data in this particular way, at least I can see that, July has been consistently a troublemaker over here. Can you just see? July is a troublemaker because for every year, sales have dropped in July. Similarly, if I look at it, yes, October is also a troublemaker. Every year, the sales have dropped in October. So I'll have to think about July and October. So what to do in July and what to do in October is a plan of action, is a question which is posted in front of, business operations leader over here. This is what data can do. Rest of the months have been quite inconsistent, but I think this is something that we can draw over here, right? So inferences like this can be drawn. Now, if I click on this drop down again and look at compute using table across, then down, then across, then down, across, then down. Let's look at this value. Across, then down is nothing but, well, first it's going to go across. That is, this 15.7 is the difference of 30 minus 14.3. We have already seen that. Similar to this, 15.7 is 45.7 minus 30. 3.4 is 49.1 minus 45.7. But now it won't give you blank values over here. This difference is nothing but this 21.6 minus this 49.1K. In fact, I'll not take the difference over here. I think it's table down and across is easier to explain using running total. So let me go for that. Now, if I look at the running total, we can see that the running total across is this plus this plus this plus this. Now, in table across, if you look at quick table calculation, in this particular part, which is table across, if I change it to table across then down, it changes. Now, in table across, this particular value used to start from its original value, which is 21.6, but it's not, because now what is happening is it's not stopping the summation at 139.2K. It is just adding this 21.6 to this for 39.2. That is, not only is going to go for this, it's going to go for the summation like this. So it's going to sum up the entire row and then move on to the next row and keep on summing it up till this particular point. Now, I'm not very sure about the advantage of this method, but what I can see is we can say that right from the start, that is January 2011, till the end, that is December 2014, I was at what position? What was my position on these things? For example, if the total sales that I've made is 2348.5K, I think I had made half of that sales around over here. That is, or probably over here, right? 1211. That is by August 2012, I had made half of that sales. And from August 2012 till December 2014, I made the rest of the half, right? Analysis like this, if needed, can be done. Similarly, if I change it to by using compute using to table down and across, the accumulation will first happen down and the accumulation will not stop. It'll start from here. It'll continue from here. When in this particular option, that is compute using only table down is going to sum up one column only. For the next column, it used to start from the original value of 30K. But with table down and across, it's going to add this 30K to this 414 and it's going to continue the summation over here because we have selected running total, right? And it's going to go on like this. Now, right now you have taken running total. If I change it to, let's say, difference, the same thing will happen for difference as well, right? It's going to go for, if I just click on this, compute using table down and across, it's going to keep on giving you the difference. And this difference is nothing but this minus this. Not a very useful way of looking at it, but I think this is something that might be useful in certain level of data, certain kind of data. But table down and table across are definitely the values, something that can be used over here. So this is quick table calculation. We can accumulate the data, we can take the difference. In fact, if I take you guys to the rest of the other options, you can take the percent difference over here. You can take the percent difference. The percent difference, you obviously have to go and change the format over here. Change the format of the field over here to percent. You'll be able to see the percent, right? And you can probably, look into this. And now we can, right now I've taken in the quick table calculation as the difference in table, I've computed using table across. You can put into table down. That is, Feb saw 51% jump from January in 2011. March saw 5% dip. Then April saw 7% increment. May saw 32% increment. June saw whooping 69% increment. July, big 66% dip. August, great increment of 187%. September, decent increment. October, again a good decrement over here, 75%. November, 35% increase. And December, 20% increase. And we can just keep on doing that. Now, this time I have taken compute using table down. Not table down, then across. I'll be using table down. Hence, this value will start again from Feb to Jan of 2012. That is, in Feb 2012, there is a dip when it comes to sales from January. Half of the sales were wrapped up. March, there was an increment of 170%. April, dip. March, May increment. June increment. July again decrement. And so on like this. Right, so this is what we can do. We can take the percentage case over here. We can take percent of total as well. That is, it gives you the percent of total. For example, if I take percent of total over here, the totality is 100%. We can see that if I just add this up, or for the moment being, in order to explain you guys, I'll just change it from table across. In fact, it is in table across, my bad. So I can just see table across 10 plus 22 plus 33 plus 35 added up. 68 plus 22 around 90 plus 10 100. So of this 100, that is of the Januaries, if I consider 100% as the sales of all Januaries, 10% was achieved in 2011, 22% was achieved in 2012. Similarly, 2013 achieved 33%, 2014 achieved 35%, and so on. I change it to table down. The same happens for the year. In the entire year sale, all this percentages will sum up to 100%. We can do it, right? Will sum up to 100% over there, right? 28, 32, 47, 59, 63, 75, 82, 87, 92, and another 8 is going to give me 100%, isn't it? Which means I can easily see what is happening. That is, in 2011, most of my sales are coming from June, August, September, November, and December. These 5 months, if I just add it up, 28, 43, 55 plus 12, 67, 2/3 of my sales are coming from these 5 months only. And is it consistent? Which seems to be yes, right? It's consistent. So June, August, September, November, and December are the 5 key months for me. I probably can focus on the rest of the months to increase sales over there. Well, it depends upon what kind of business are we talking about over here. So all this analysis becomes very easy. Can you just feel the level of analysis this thing opens up? We can take rank, percentile, moving average, year-to-date total, compounded growth rate can also be taken, year-to-date growth rate, right? I'll suggest you guys to move on to CAGR, year-on-year growth, or YTD growth, only when you have a decent understanding of these terms over here. But yes, I mean, at least running total difference, percent of total, these top 4, even moving average is going to give me a lot of, insights to work upon, isn't it? Right. And then we can do it by table down, table across, table down and across, table across and down. Any number of things can be done over there. Can you just understand the kind of combination that you can create over here on a single table? Right. Now the magic doesn't end over here. That's the part with Tableau. Magic doesn't end. Right. If I just take the sales and put it on the colors, let's see what happens. We'll able to create a heat map. Let's see it in the next video.